What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got a couple of spicy athlete duels for you guys to check out. I think we have Formula athletes in the first duel, and then we have Ultra athletes in the second duel. Both TCG exclusives, or they were TCG exclusives when they first got revealed. I still think even though these decks didn't do anything much competitive, they still have solid cards, which is one of the reasons you see like Don Draxler used in Pendulum Magicians and all sorts of like other decks for its solid negation. Anyways, first duel is against Abyss Actors, which I mean, they can pendulum summon, so there's that. And I've always said against Abyss Actors, do not blow their back row up unless they are pendulum scales. If you go after random back row when you're doing against Abyss Actors, you have no idea what type of trouble you can get in. They have effects that let them draw 5 and summon like 5 monsters from the deck, so it's all types of crazy stuff. Doesn't really do much here, just summons the evil here, healed, excuse me, and his opponent, I believe, is going to try to go, nope, just goes for the Link Karibo. No, he is going to go for the Motorhome. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Generally, you want to drop Motorhome as quickly as possible, and during the battle phase, it gains a couple of levels, so it's easy to get this card somewhere between level 11 or 10 plus in the first turn, and it definitely has really good stats as well. So Link Karibo being kind of just deterrent for attacking, he's going to go ahead and debuff the Link Karibo. I don't really see the point of it because Link Karibo will simply tribute itself, and that'll just get it off the field. And obviously he's not going to attack into this guy because he'll just gain some stats right there. Now he's going to go for the pop-off, and this was an incredibly solid play, but not necessarily against this deck. He goes for the High Speed or Kite Drake. This is a card that is a one-sided Judgment Dragon, potentially just blows up your opponent's entire field. It can also negate all face-up cards. Basically, this card has 2 effects. They're both amazing, and it would be incredibly strong unless your opponent has one of those freaking spell cards. Check this out. He's going to go ahead and he's going to activate the Abyss Entertainment. This is going to summon him 5 monsters from the deck. That's kind of troll, man. You nuke your opponent's field only to have them summon the same amount of monsters, or really the same amount of cards, in with the same amount of cards as they had already. And that's kind of cool about Abyss Actors is yeah, you definitely don't want to blind kind of MST ever against the deck. Now the good thing is because the Motorhome is such high level, he does get the Monster Reborn effect, then he should just be able to honestly power through it. For an opponent that summoned 5 monsters upon one of their cards being destroyed, he doesn't really seem all too phased, and the FA archetype does have some ways of powering out a couple of cards, especially if you let them keep activating their FA spells, because then their levels go up, their stats will progressively go up, and they'll start getting bonus effects as well. So he's just going to go ahead and get rid of the board. He's not done here yet. He's actually going to go for a couple more plays, going to go for that Titanic Galaxy, which was really nice, and he is going to start going for some style points during the next turn. Clearly he already has enough damage on board. This is all, by the way, unnecessary. You can see his opponent's field completely open. He had to set his field spell because obviously if he would have activated, Titanic Galaxy just would have sucked it up. There would have been honestly no points. He gets the Twin Twister into his cap. I'm going for style points. You would have thought that after destroying his opponent's face down spell and it giving him 5 monsters, you'd have thought he would have been a little hesitant to destroy his opponent's unknown like spell cards. But he says, Cap G, I don't give no F's about that, Ed. He's basically going to try to do the pop off. He will, if he really wants to special summon more monsters from the extra deck, he'll have to give up his Titanic Galaxy, but at this point there's really no reason not to, I guess, if you want to really go for those style points, because you know that your opponent doesn't have any spells and you're obviously going to have enough damage to OTK. I mean, hell, he started with enough damage to OTK. Goes for Apollo Wusa. He's also going to go for FA Don Dragster, probably the best FA card of all time. Our second duel is going to see Dinomist taking on Ultra Athletes, and Dinomists are going to make an incredibly powerful field. We know Dinomists are water and they're machines, so they can make things like Cyber Dragon Infinity. They can also make Totally Awesome by the way of Bahamut Shark, Electromite, all that good stuff. So I think generally, excuse me, you want to go for Electromite as quickly as possible. He does that without using his Pendulum Summon, which is nice, but the real interesting thing is the Thunder Dragon in his hand. So he's going to activate it, and it's important because usually decks would have to like find some way of getting the Thunder Dragon on board, maybe Saryuya Skull Dread or something, but since it's level 5, guess what? He has access to the Pendulum Summon, and he can Pendulum Summon them things, both of them opening up the possibility of dropping double Colossus turn 1. He's gonna go for Artifact Durandal, goes for Lambda to open up another extra monster zone, and this is an incredibly sick turn 1. Now, generally speaking, because he has Droll, if he did not have Colossus with Durandal, he would kind of have a cheesy play where basically if his opponent searched a card, he could be able to Droll them and then activate Durandal, and then Durandal would like shuffle the hand of the player back into their deck and then force them to draw new cards, but then Droll would kind of shut it down. It's the same exact thing as the Reincarnation Droll loop. Unfortunately, Colossus is kind of shutting the play down because he can't surge, so I think he'd be happier if this Droll and Lockbird was a Gamma right now because he has Lambda on the field. But let's see what Ultra Athletes are going to do. He'll probably start with the UA Stadium. Normal summons midfielder. He cannot get a search here because he has the double Colossus, so that's unfortunate. But Mighty Slugger can attack over the Durandal, so that's actually pretty good. I guess he didn't feel like there was a point of shuffling the hands because he wouldn't have really gotten anything out of it. He could have used Droll afterwards, but what would have been the point, honestly? This is going to hurt your soul just to watch, guys. He's going to activate the UA turnover tactics, and all monsters on the field getting shuffled back into the deck. Now, you're supposed to be able to, summon from your deck the equivalent of what you shuffle back in, but it doesn't work if you shuffle your cards back into the extra deck. So when you shuffle your opponent's extra deck monsters, they don't get anything out of it. And unfortunately, he just loses Lambda and double Colossus for nothing. To make matters even worse, he's going to get a driver. He tries to activate the Magical Abductor, but that's going to get shut down by the Perfect Ace. And chances are he is not going to survive this turn because now he can actually search. He has another turnover tactics, but I don't really think that there's a point. He's just going to go ahead and start attacking directly, and he's going to use midfielder during the battle phase, go for Perfect Ace, and that is a wrap. That was actually a really interesting duel. I respected the turn 1 play of Dinomist. It just, it didn't work out, man. Sometimes you have the disruption and you have good turn 1 monsters, but your opponent has that one little cheese card that you don't know about, the UA turnover tactics, non-targeting removal for basically, it can be against 6 monsters. Your opponent can have 6 monsters on the field, like from the extra deck. It'll shuffle all of them back, and that's kind of crazy because they won't get anything out of it. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed those athlete duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.